Hello.
Hi,
Hey, Andrea.
how you
How you doing?
doing? Yeah, good, good. So, yeah, so it seems to be pretty quiet so far today. I mean, Tracy wrote me that she's not able to make it today. Um,
People are in summer vacations now.
yeah, it feels like probably people are summer vacation. So, well, let's see if there are more folks joining.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can yeah keep it short for today. Can I mean, you can go quickly to the agenda. And thanks for the PRs on
Oh,
the
no.
city events SDK. Much appreciated.
I saw there is a few links that was complaining with the name of the variables, but that changes the entire like generation, the code generation and stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
if you want that, but it's gonna change like there's, for example, there's the ID with it lower D.
Mm-hmm.
Go practice is with capital D, like ID all capital,
Okay.
and there is other things like with it's more static.
Yeah. As you wish. I don't know if it's
Okay,
worth going. I mean, maybe. Um. Yeah.
just to like
It's
also it's like to make like this following the pattern from the Go language itself, right?
yeah.
What
Yeah. I see.
the
That makes
Go
sense.
expected, but there's nothing like that's gonna change behavior or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not too much work and you want to,
I already
make the
have a break
changes.
with that.
Okay.
I can open a PR and then you can see if it makes sense or not.
Okay.
Not we just close. That's fine.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
Hello.
So, thanks for joining. So let me bring up the notes. So Tracy told me she is not able to make it today. And yeah, maybe other folks are in summer vacations. So looks like we are a small group. Yeah, thanks for joining. Yeah, since it's 6 past, I will just go through the few things I on the agenda for today. And if you have other things you would like to bring up, we can discuss them. Otherwise, can uh, keep it short. Um, so we had some elections for the end user representative. Oh, I forgot to write the outgoing ones. So we have some new members of the TOC. So thanks Steve and Damian for being part of the TOC, and welcome Aravind from eBay and Dan from Capital One. And hopefully they'll be joining the TOC at this point, probably after the summer. We'll resume meetings in September. So yeah, looking forward to meeting them. In terms of project updates, I only had one update on Tecton side. So there was some discussion in terms of supporting Tecton infrastructure with the governing board. So the Tecton projects continue to work on reducing the infrastructure spend, but still the CDF cannot support it beyond the end of September 2025. Yeah, but luckily there are some credits on Oracle Cloud that looks like they will be available through the CNCF for Tecton. So we are starting conversation how to get things set up and migrate the GKE infrastructure to Oracle, manage by Kubernetes for
Out
that.
of curiosity, how much is that costing? Is that like 1,000 a month, 10,000 a month?
Well, these days, let me see. So they have a number. Yes, that's the number recently. So I think we're about maybe maybe 2.5K per month.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be maybe around 4 or 5 or 6 even
Mm-hmm.
K per month. So we went down quite a lot. Um, a lot of it was really, I mean, some, I guess maybe 45% was compute, but more than 50% was egress bandwidth from the container registry. Um, and yeah, so we migrated everything to the GitHub container registry, but it took some time to get like users using those images and so forth. And like about a week ago, we turned off access to the GCR images, and still there were a few users who had issues, but kind of worked with them, and it seems to be okay now. And so I expect, yeah, costs will be going further down, and we are still migrating things, additional things to GitHub Actions to reduce costs further. So but there are a couple of things that we still depend on. Like we use Tide as a merge queue. We use some Prow services as well. So yeah.
Ask, because I'm not even sure right now how much Spinnaker infrastructure is costing us. Our biggest thing is our GitHub or our Google Artifact storage system. Like we use
Yeah.
GAR for all of our Docker images today for Spinnaker. And there was actually a conversation just this week around, hey, if we want an integration test infrastructure to verify the Spinnaker project, how do we get that? And it sounds like we actually have the opposite ask to reduce all of this spend. Is that consistent, or is it just Tecton, something with Tecton limitations? Or I'm curious about
What do you
any
mean?
that from the CD. Is this from the CD Foundation saying they need to drop it?
Yeah, so they don't have any budget for Tecton anymore. Part of it is that Tecton applied to the CNCF quite some
Hmm.
time ago, and the process has been ongoing for a while. And companies that contribute to Tecton, they kind of left the CDF.
Hmm.
Um, and even though the membership is not project specific, there's kind of reduced interest from the companies that are members today into supporting Tecton. So I guess that's why the governing board want to continue investing in the infra of the project. And because we applied to the CNCF, so we had some conversation with the CNCF and they have some credits, so we can switch over to those credits until the project is accepted or not. If it's not accepted, then we'll have to see what to do.
Okay, that's interesting. As said, I'm asking mostly in the context of it came up in Spinnaker internally recently of how
Mm.
can we better integrate and do we need a long-term cluster to run Spinnaker so we can verify some of our release stuff. Because what's happened in the past traditionally is enterprise companies like Armory, which
Mhm.
obviously is Harness now, has
Yeah.
run their own integration tests and just reported back to the community, hey, this is broken here, which takes that back and forth communications and becomes very painful for enterprise users because it's not caught in open source, which means open source may be on 2025, 1, 2, whatever, and it's been out for 2 months and we just are now finding the bugs in it, kind of things. Because
Mhm.
it's not until the enterprise starts integrating that new release that the bugs are found. So one of the
Right.
things I got permission was to shift some of that into the community, but it requires infrastructure to do so. And
Yeah.
that's always a question of who pays for that and how.
Um, I mean, it seemed like a very reasonable ask. Um, so I guess if there are ways to set those up without having extra spend on the infra side, that definitely would be a plus. If there is
Mm.
not possible, then it'll. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll have to bring it up to the governing board and see if we can allocate the budget for that.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, what we are doing on Tecton, we used to do a lot of well, we used to do some dog fooding, at least using Tecton for CI or CD of Tecton itself.
Hmm.
And so what we've been doing is basically migrating things to GitHub Actions,
Hmm.
because basically with the amount of loads in terms of development that we have on the project now, it's fine. We can use the free plan, and it works. It works well for us. And in some cases, we even we use GitHub Actions. We set up using Kind, a Kubernetes cluster. We run Tecton in the Kubernetes cluster, and we run things in there. So it's
Yeah.
and we are able
Spinnaker,
to do like yeah.
yeah, Spinnaker, we do something very similar. We're all GitHub and GitHub Actions, and we have been actually for quite a long while, including like some detailed integration tests.
Mhm.
So we use, and you can actually see any of it if you're ever curious. Cloud Driver is the one that we integrate with all the different cloud providers probably the most. Um, and then what we've got, and we've got a significant number of those, if it would help the Tecton at all, where literally we do some of that, like, hey, spin up, I want to say we're using K3S. No, we're using Kind. I just had to do a PR review and I use too many different tech
Mhm.
stacks. Um, but we actually have a matrix of integration tests for Kubernetes because we can spin up local clouds that, oh yeah, we run 128, 129, 130, and all the different ones. So if it's of
Yeah.
interest, I can share how we do that.
Um, yeah, sure. I think we have a PR in progress to set it up. But it would be great to, very, compare with what you guys are doing as you've been running it for some time, so we don't have to reinvent. Um, cool, thanks.
I just DM'd you our GitHub Actions that we use on it. So uh, happy to talk about this more. And then the enterprise integration tests we're looking at, but those require an actual running Spinnaker, which is not cheap to run. Um, Spinnaker
Okay.
scales like mad, but it's complicated to operate and run without some of that. I'm looking right now to see if there's a way we can do that without needing a real Spinnaker in the
Mm,
traditional sense. So um, that's something we're looking at. Whether or not it's financially viable, that's a interesting conversation. So yeah,
yeah.
that literally just came up this week of how could we do that?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend if you have a way to estimate roughly how much that would
Mhm.
cost, that certainly helps. You can bring a number to the governing board.
Okay.
Uh,
Have never interacted with the governing governing board of the CD Foundation, really. So
Um, yeah. Well, it's if you want to, bring some more data, I'm happy to bring it to the governing board on your behalf if you prefer. Uh, but yeah,
I'm not even sure what that looks like. That's why I'm sort of, most of the time Spinnaker operates in its own little world, and I'm trying to be better about communicating both up and down to the Spinnaker community of things. Because traditionally what I've been finding, and I keep finding this, is that from a community perspective, we are so isolated into what we know in our own little communities that the rest of the world is bypassing us. Um, like I was just looking at a couple Reddit threads, and I hear through other channels, yeah, people are doing this, Y, and Z. Argo is winning everything, and GitHub Actions and similar, and Harness is doing really well in its platform play, obviously. And what I see is a consistent message that Spinnaker, nope, you don't find it. Tecton, nobody sees. Jenkins, everybody hates, although everybody loves. So it's a little bit of sometimes how do we communicate to the wider audience, both internal up to the CD Foundation, that both the projects are live, they're active. There was a thread that, oh yeah, nobody does anything in Spinnaker. It's been dead for years. Netflix abandoned it and it's abandonware. No, it's not. How do we communicate that it's not abandonware?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I heard this kind of conversation as well, so it's good. It would be good, a CDF to help like uh, give the right message. Um, yeah, I mean we have on the CDF we have Roxanne, who takes care about the website, blog posts, communication, marketing, all the kind of marketing type of stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, we can bring it up with her as well. One way I can think of could be to write blog posts and publish, promote those blog posts at least to the
Mhm.
CDF community. So you can put them on the CDF LinkedIn account and X account and so forth and so forth, and that has a certain reach. So that might be um, something to do. Another and something else we the CDF does is end user stories. So those are kind of PDF type document with 2 or 3 pages where some user of a certain project writes how they use it, what is their success story with that, and so forth. So if you have some Spinnaker users you could work with, maybe write
Mhm.
something like prepare something like that. That's also something that you can publish and help
Yeah,
counter the impression that the project is not alive and used.
we've been trying to figure out how to, well, at least I've been trying to figure out how to publish on our Spinnaker blog, and I need to internally ask some more questions on that one.
Okay.
There's been some transitions the last few years, and we haven't had a blog post since 2022.
Oh
Uh,
gosh.
so I can understand some of this sentiment, at least on the Spinnaker side. The space is, that's a whole different problem on several levels. So, but yeah, it's interesting what I hear in different channels and threads and communities, of people like, no, we're moving to Argo, no, we're moving to GitLab, we're moving to X, Y, and Z, and really it's some of the times Y, and most of those projects have nothing to do with the CD Foundation anymore. And it's like, how do we keep relevant in a world that's picking technologies completely independent of the CD Foundation, where we're not even in mind for most of them? It's something I've been thinking about lately. Sorry to monopolize a lot of time there, take a lot of time. I just that the financing came in, and then that other conversation around that also came up recently.
No, it's fine. It's great. I mean, I guess that this is the forum where we can have this kind of conversation. So it's yeah. Cool. All right. Okay. Yeah, as I said, I mean, okay, so yeah, just wanted to mention something else about the interaction with the governing board. Sorry, it's so basically in a nutshell, so there is Michelle from the Linux Foundation. She basically updates and maintains the budget. And what she usually does, she makes a budget proposal, and then the governing board, during the governing board meeting, they have discussions and they vote whether the budget proposal is fine or not. So if there is a certain amount of budget that would be required by the Spinnaker project for the infrastructure, I think, yeah, it's simply, if you can quantify it and maybe write a little bit down about why it would be needed, why it makes sense to have, and then we can send it to Michelle, and she can, present it as part of the budget, or we can have some discussion. We can start with an email thread with Michelle, and then we can get it to the rest of the governing board. That's how I would do it.
Okay. I'll let the other devs on the Spinnaker know if we want to pursue, see if we want to pursue it. It's come up. That doesn't mean that it is something that we're going to do, but I will see if I can't discuss it more and get some details.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Phil.
Sounds good. Yeah, the last thing on the agenda, it's something we discussed a bit during the last meeting about platform con, and what is the role of CDF in that space. And so Tracy had some conversation with folks from Platform Con. I don't have specific names, and she asked me whether maybe we want to invite them in an upcoming CDF meeting, a CDF TOC meeting. Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell Tracy, I would tell Tracy that maybe if anyone from that group is up to, doing a maybe short presentation about what it is what they're doing, and what's new and recent in their space as a starting point or as an icebreaker, and then we can have some conversation if they agree to meet with us.
I'm always
All
happy
right.
to talk about Spinnaker on anything, so
Sounds good.
or CD in general. I mean, Harness is not open source, but we're part of, I think we're still a member of the CD Foundation, so I can talk generic delivery from that perspective to others.
Cool. All right. Anything else? If not, then nice to see you both. Thanks for joining today. Yeah, until
Thank
next
you.
time.
See you next time.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.